Your father never had the makings of a varsity athlete.
Despite what his Uncle Junior thought, Tony did have the makings of a varsity athlete. If we're talking about analogies, what would make a varsity athlete in Tony's world? Someone with skill and leadership, someone the other players look up to, inspires confidence in his subordinates and peers, someone who makes touchdowns. Sopranos is about a mob boss in therapy, a man with issues with his family, namely issues with his mother, his uncle, both of whom conspired to murder him, his cousins, two of whom Tony murdered, his sister, and of course his kids. Surprisingly, despite his many faults, Tony is mostly a good father, keeping the family together for most of the part despite his separation with his wife Carmela, who later cries at the hospital bed when he was in a coma. It was hearing his daughter's voice who saved him from walking into the final family reunion in the sky. He was loved by his family. How about his other family? As de facto street boss of his mob family, Tony was mostly respected and obeyed. He was no Jackie Aprile Sr. when it comes to the respect, but his men took care of him, laughed at his jokes, did what they were told. He instilled confidence from his subordinates, just like a good quarterback or team captain. Contrast that with his right-hand man Silvio, who buckled under the pressure when he took control of things when Tony was in the hospital.
It was fucking mayhem.
And his uncle never really took charge, despite reminding everyone he was, technically, still the boss of the family. Uncle Junior was the boss in name only, and couldn't cut it as a real boss. As far as Tony's skills and abilities, they paid for a luxurious and comfortable lifestyle and a nice house. He always seemed to have tons of money. He earned and had men who earned. He made many touchdowns throughout the show. His successful scams, cons, burglaries, and other rackets. Remember, this is an anti-hero we're talking about here. He may have been a criminal, but he was good at what he did, as evidenced by his living it up in his huge house and boats. So it didn't matter what he did in high school. How many high school athletes are even remembered after they graduate? Where is the real legacy? It was Tony who was the star quarterback, the de facto boss. In real life, Tony Soprano had the makings of a star varsity athlete, no matter how much his demented uncle could disagree.
All I know is you never had the makings of a varsity athlete.
Not true, Uncle June. Not true.
You don't like the way I talk? Get out of my house.